Ever since the Rings of Power finale, a show that has been an incredible failure for Amazon, the celebrities, the actors, the actresses, everyone who has been involved with the show have continued to either complain, whine, throw tantrums over some of the backlash that the show has received and the lack of success that it has had, or they have continued to try to make empty promises to us that they are going to be really following the canon for season 2. We're going to be getting the show that we've always wanted with season 2. If that is the case, then why do you guys continue to try to promote this anti-Tolkien type of stuff that has been going on? But today we're going to be looking at this new thing today where some of the actors, some of the celebrities who were involved with Rings of Power have decided to step forward to complain and talk about some of what they want to do moving forward with Rings of Power, as well as complaining about Tolkien fans as being racist, despite the fact that pretty much most of the criticisms that have come out about the show have nothing to do with the race at all. It is about the fact that this show is just a horribly written, horribly executed show that has no inkling of Tolkien in the soul of the show whatsoever. So, the Rings of Power star hopes for more casting diversity in season 2. But don't worry, they're really going to be trying to go super duper canon with season 2, guys. We're going to be getting the show that we've always wanted with Rings of Power for season 2. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Ismael Cruz Cordova, who played Arondir, Sophie Namvet, who played the Princess Disa, and Cynthia Adia Robinson, who played Queen Regent Muriel, spoke with Variety, where they were asked about a supposed racist backlash to the casting. Cruz responded saying, "The fact that the attention was shifted toward that shows you what the power of shows like this is. The fact that it hit that nerve and that our being in it created such a response just brings attention to the greatness of fantasy, the greatness of Lord of the Rings, and why it's actually good that we're here." What? So because people were angry and critical of the creative decisions that Amazon made with Rings of Power, that shows the greatness of Lord of the Rings. What? Did it become a bit too much? Absolutely. It's taken airtime from the depth of who we are as artists, but it just shows you where we are in the world and how much work we still have to do. I'm just very grateful that it's us who are able to recalibrate, break form, reshape, and make history. By the way, I think this is absolutely hilarious. The fact that the attention was shifted towards the race stuff in the show, shows you what the power of shows like this is. You guys were literally the ones who made the race a big factor of the show. You were the ones that brought all the attention to that. Like, literally, ever since the very beginning, when you guys started to talk about what the show was going to be having, you guys were talking about this. You guys were talking about the diversity that you wanted to have for the show. You were the ones that were bringing the attention to this. And of course, because of that, you generated a response from people who were not happy about that being the big selling point that you had for this show in the beginning. You weren't talking about how faithful you were going to be to Tolkien. In fact, you were talking about how this was going to be the novel that Tolkien never wrote. The thing that you guys were focused on was the woke element. That is what you were pushing ever since the beginning, and that is why people had a problem with this show from the very beginning. Robinson then shared her thoughts. "We are right in the middle of that process. We just want to normalize. We do have to discuss it because we are now in a space in society where we need to now and again acknowledge exactly what is happening." So what they're going to do in order to normalize it is that they're going to continue to beat you upside the head with it time and time again. They're literally going to shove it in your face, they're just going to force feed it to you in order to try to normalize it. And that is exactly what Hollywood is continuing to try to do. And they go on and on. They complain, they whine, they cry about all of the nonsense that is going on, and they will continue to vilify you if you do not like the garbage that they are giving you. First off, if there was any racist backlash, Variety did not provide any evidence of it. Of course they didn't. It's just this vague, nebulous thing, and neither have any of these actors. To be honest, I think that Ismael Cruz Cordova did actually a pretty fine job as a character of Arendir for what he was given as far as the writing. I think that Disa was actually one of the better characters of the show. Those are both people of color who were in, people of color using their language, of course, who were in the show. And they were actually some of the best parts of that show, you know, with, you know, all things considered with the writing and everything else. But of course, we're just a bunch of racists. That's all that we are. And of course, you know, they're not going to acknowledge the fact that Galadriel was actually one of the biggest criticisms of the show, with just how horrific her character was portrayed in the show and written and everything else. But none of that matters. All we are just trolls. We're just a bunch of because we don't like the garbage that they are continuing to give us. So with that being said, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.